Hey, it's Matt from Custom Car Grills with a mesh install for the 2013 through 15 Nissan Altima. The stock grille can easily be removed once the bumper has been taken off of the car. First, I need to separate the chrome outer trim piece from the inner black portion. To do this, I'll flip the grille around so that I can work on the back of it. There's a few Phillips head screws that need to come out, and those can be set off to the side. Next, I'll grab a flathead screwdriver and get working on releasing the tabs. The flat edge on the screwdriver can easily get in at an angle, and then a slight twist should open up the slot enough to pull the tab through. Once all the tabs are through, then the two parts can be separated, and I'll set the chrome trim piece aside for now. I can now work on the inner portion much more easily. There's going to be a lot of cutting in the next few steps. To do most of the cutting, I'll grab my rotary tool and equip it with Dremel's number 543 cutting and shaping wheel. There's a prominent edge where the chrome piece used to be on the outside of this, and this is going to be my cut line for now. I'll be cutting right up to the outside portion of this line and starting on the top edge. The sides have a bit of a weird curve, and I found that it was easiest to approach this by holding the tool inward towards the center of the grille. The bottom is as easy as the top, and just a single quick pass is all that's needed. I didn't get into the corners very well, and there's still a little bit of plastic to cut through there. An open-ended saw blade is the perfect tool for getting in there and making these cuts. And with all the cuts made, the center won't be needed anymore and can be removed and thrown away. I'll pick off any burnt plastic bits that are stuck on from the cutting before moving forward. The cuts I made look good, but the sides should be shaved down a little bit more. The bottom edge will likely need a little bit of extra work too. I like to use the top of the shaping wheel to push the cut line back maybe another 1/8 of an inch or a pinch more on the sides. The bottom edge needs to be shaved down until it's one consistent thin line at the top when viewed from behind. I'll do another pass of picking off burnt plastic bits now, and afterward I decided to strip the chrome from the outer trim piece and paint that black. I thought this looked much better than the stock appearance of the chrome, but it's completely optional. Next, I'll snap the grille back together and check to see how much plastic is still interfering with the mesh install. Any plastic that's close to the edge, like this, will prevent the mesh from being a nice flush install. A high contrast marker like this silver Sharpie is a great tool for marking where additional cuts may need to be made. Then I'll separate the two grille pieces again and use the rotary tool and shaping wheel combo again. Because I highlighted these areas with a silver marker, I can easily tell where and how much I need to cut. The sides and top can be trimmed back pretty far before it may become an issue. But with the lower edge, there does need to be some caution because I don't want to wear the plastic near the tabs too thin. Also, one area on the lower edge that will need to be trimmed out before the final install is this little center section. I found that it was too weak to hold the screw that was there, and the new open area will be an important spot for the mesh install. Okay, one last round of cleaning up the cut edge, and then let's get the outer trim piece. This will be the last time I plan on snapping this back together. The screws that were removed earlier can be reinstalled at this point too. I'll just make one more look all the way around the grille to make sure that the black plastic is below the outer trim piece's back edge. Now, let's take a look at the mesh piece that we have for sale on our website. This is pre-cut and pre-bent specifically for the 2013 through 15 Nissan Altima. All the right cuts have been made in all the right spots. The mesh piece goes onto the back of the grille like so, with the bent edges facing the front of the car. Now, although we've bent this mesh piece to the shape of the grille, the left and right edges are especially a funky shape. More than likely there will be additional contouring of the mesh by the installer in this area for an exact fit. Once the mesh is reasonably laying on the back of the grill, I'm going to grab some cable ties and foam to temporarily hold the mesh in tight. Just loop the tie through the mesh and around the grill and then fasten them together behind the mesh. For this install, the ties will need to be fastened fairly tight, but caution needs to be used because they can't be so tight that they distort the shape of the grill or mesh. I like to have the head of the tie on the back of the mesh like how I'm showing here. This can give the best results of keeping the mesh flush up against the back of the grill. Once all the ties are in place and there's no gaps when looking at the grill from the front, then I'll cut the tail ends of the ties off. To bond the mesh and grill together, I like to use a plastic repair epoxy like Plyo Grip, but glues like Automotive Goop can work just as well here too. There's trade-offs with both in price and durability. If using the plastic repair epoxy, an adhesion promoter should be used on the areas where the mesh and grill will come in contact. Next, I'll apply the adhesive through and on top of the mesh, making sure I'm getting contact with the grill. The Plyo Grip is thick and cures quick, so I'll do it one section at a time. Once I get some of this laid down, I'll grab a small brush and evenly spread it around to ensure good coverage. Then I'll move on to the next section and repeat all of this the same way around the whole grill. If the goop or other adhesive is being used, I'd be concerned with it running down the grill in the areas that I don't want it to be. Having a fan nearby to blow air on the goop can really come in handy when keeping that adhesive from running all over the place. Once the adhesive of choice has cured, then the ties can be cut off and thrown away. The protective film can also be removed and disposed of too. Our grill mod is now complete. Let's flip it around and see how it turned out. Wow, this looks really good. It's such a big difference when compared to the stock grill. I like this sleek all black design. It looks good plain, but it'd also be very easy to attach some emblems or lettering if desired. This makes for a nice weekend project with some basic tools, and the hardest part of all of this for me was getting just the right contour of the mesh on the left and right sides. Here's a picture of an install using this mesh style on a 2013 through 15 Altima. Well, that's all I got for this video. I hope you liked it, and if you have any questions about this video, then feel free to contact me, and thanks for watching.